Okay. Beautiful. Good morning, everybody, guys. It is Monday. Good afternoon. Sorry, actually. Guys, we've got a Premium Plus. Welcome. We are live. We are together. I'm having a great Monday. We haven't even hit the NY session. And if you guys took the golden nugget that I taught last week, it worked 4 out of 5 days last week and absolutely smashed the markets this morning. And I've made my 5,000 pip target for the day, right? Before we've even hit the New York Stock Exchange time. Now, a lot of you were live with us when I did that teaching. Some of you missed it, and I had a lot of people asking, saying, hey, they missed it. Can I please reteach it, etc. That is the power of being in Premium Plus and attending these live sessions. You never know what you're going to get. You never know if it's relevant for today or it's a teaching that'll be something that you can benefit from in the future. So make sure you attend live events. If you miss something, you miss it. It is what it is. Now, I can't reteach it because directly after this is going to go into all of the free groups. However, if you did take the golden nugget this morning, both on NASDAQ as well as US30, NASDAQ pushed to well over 1,600 pips per position. US30 pushed to about 1,600 pips per position. NASDAQ well over 1,000. So if you had 2 or 3 positions of each, very quickly you can see how we get to quick 5,000 pips. But there's a lot to discuss today, so without further ado, let's jump into it. Let's get into it. If you guys are live with us, just let me know where in the world you guys are at. How was your weekend? Are you guys relaxed? Are you calm? We have 2 trading weeks left to wrap up this month, and this week is going to be a big one, right? We're going to go through the big items, what's busy happening. Obviously, the biggest item on the sort of calendar, if you will, is going to be the Fed, and there's a finance symposium happening that Powell's going to be heading up. That's on Thursday. And then we've got some NVIDIA earning results that's going to be coming on Wednesday. Before we get into that, let's start off with a normal routine. Let's start off with some of the fundamentals and what we can expect for today. So being a Monday, you guys know the drill. Mondays are fairly clean from the economic calendar perspective. So no external events are really going to come into play today and kind of mess with any sort of price action. Now, make sure you stay towards the end because I'm going to show you an opportunity on gold you guys just cannot miss, right? Some beautiful price action. We can't miss it. Make sure you do not miss that for whatever it means, right? Whether you're gonna watch it twice, whatever the case may be. Now, NVIDIA's earnings. Now, the reason this is going to be so big this week is NVIDIA has really been leading the field when it comes to, artificial intelligence, right? As you guys know, since the start of ChatGPT entering the public space, investment firms have been scrambling for, and investing as much as they can into any sort of AI development, AI, software technology, etc. Now, the reason NVIDIA's earning report is so important is NVIDIA is leading the front from a hardware perspective, right? They're developing some amazing chips. If you listen to Tesla's earnings call that happened pretty recently, Elon basically said outright that he will buy and they will buy as many chips as NVIDIA is able to create and or supply. So the demand is massive. We look at NVIDIA's last month sort of just investors update. Basically, they shifted their earnings projection, almost double their earnings projection just based on the AI front. So tomorrow on Wednesday evening after market close, we will get a insight into exactly what's happening. Now remember, you're part of Premium Plus. I am going to be doing this one live. So we are going to be streaming the NVIDIA earning report live. We're going to be listening to the investors call. So it's like sitting in the boardroom with these investors. And this is going to give us a major insight into the future of AI. And then obviously we're going to be able to speculate what's going to be happening on the markets. And I do think they're going to beat expectation. I think there's NVIDIA is kind of being reined in as that, the kingmaker right now of industry, leading this front. And what they say or don't say could leave pretty big impact on the market. So we're going to be streaming this one live on Wednesday night after market close. So if you're part of Premium Plus, do not miss that whatsoever. Now, another thing the markets are speaking about, and you guys would have heard about it, someone might have sent this to you, and we were discussing this in the leadership group earlier today. Someone sent me a message, hey, have you seen this? And I had seen it and I really wanted to speak about it, but definitely reminded me, so thank you for that, is Michael Burry. For those of you guys know, Christian Bale played the role of Michael Burry, this fund manager that essentially saw the housing crisis, right, and shorted the housing market when there wasn't actually a metric to be able to short this when we had the housing crash crisis, if you will. Now, Michael Burry is, obviously he's made some wrong calls, but he's more right than he is wrong. Now, he's put down 1.6 billion against the S&P 500 as well as the NASDAQ, saying that there's going to be a massive crash in the markets. Now, remember, he put this down last quarter. So we're referring to his SEC filings for the second quarter of this year, right? Second or third, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's the second quarter of this year. So being from March to May, June. Now, when we see things like this, everyone jumps on the train of, okay, we're going to see a crash immediately. Some of these things take months to materialize. In some bad cases, even years, but in most cases, months. If you guys remember, if you've watched the movie The Big Short, and if you haven't done that, go ahead and watch it. You'll see that when these anomalies came through from a ratings and index perspective on these bonds that were just full of junk, it took months and months and months for this to materialize, or for the markets to realize that more people are defaulting on their home loans than what they should be, or what that bond or that classification should allow for, being AAA grade. It shouldn't have any risky stuff in it, but it did. So please be aware, this can take months, but it's a very interesting read to be able to follow. So for those of you who follow Reddit, there's a whole Reddit forum which I've just been diving through in the course of this morning. It's really good stuff. It's called Buryology, right? So if you guys want the link to that, I will send that into the Premium Plus group, and you're going to have a look at that. But another very interesting fact about Michael Burry Short is, and I was watching a podcast this morning, there's a similar sentiment with Buffett, or Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett hasn't outright said, hey, listen, the market's going to crash, it's going to fall, but rather that there is going to be a downturn. And last quarter, Warren Buffett, who you guys know owns and heads up Berkshire Hathaway, they essentially last quarter were adding to their assets or their balance sheet. This quarter, they're selling off their balance sheet, I believe around the tune of 8 billion. He's getting rid of his balance sheet in preparation for some sort of downturn. Now, this all leads very, very well into the markets. However, we're seeing a little bit of a conflicting data point from a price action perspective in the here and now. So I'd love to know from you guys, anybody who's watched The Big Short, please put your hand up in the comments. Love to know and hear from you. And what do you guys think about this? Do you think that this is hype? Do you believe that there's going to be something of importance that comes from this? I would love to know from you guys. You can obviously jump in and throw your comments right here. I'd love to know your thoughts about this. But moving into the price action side, there's obviously a bit of a different story that we want to discuss today. So what I want to talk about is quickly having a look at the dollar index really quickly. And as I promised you, there's this amazing opportunity currently sitting on gold and materializing on gold as we speak right now. So you definitely don't want to miss this. But before we get into that, I just quickly want to jump in and show you guys what is currently happening on the dollar index. Now, as we discussed, and I've sent the screenshot previously into the groups, and we were mostly focusing around this area here, 1 hour time frame dollar index. I was obviously discussing the fact the dollar index has been in this massive bear territory. We've broken out into bull territory, made a successful retest of this bear structure, and that diagonal was obviously going to serve as a decent resistance for the dollar index. However, the dollar index persevered straight through. The next level that was key to the dollar index, or at least the dollar survival, was this 103.xx mark, right? So anything above 103 on the index obviously proves for a very strong dollar. Now, mapping this out on an hourly time frame, we can see that the dollar index has in the past temporarily broke through, looked like it's failed structure. And what we're seeing today, or at least the start of today, is we're starting to see the dollar index start to fail. So what does this mean? It means potentially two things, right? Dollar index has been, dollar across the board has been extremely strong. And we've been looking for these potential failures in this upwards momentum, because it would mean for long-term opportunities on indices, commodities, etc. Because indices and commodities are fairly depressed, extremely undervalued. Now, some may say, well, this is the Michael Burry effect, and this is where the market's busy crashing and tanking off. Well, possibly, but the other thing we need to pay attention to is, where is this dollar index? And if the dollar index fails, where can it potentially fail to, right? So this is what is most on my interest for today. Again, being a Monday and already with using the golden nugget for this morning, having already hit my daily goal and target, I'm simply a passenger in the markets today, right? Simply observing what's happening. But there's one trade I don't want to be a passenger from, and I'm going to show you that in a second. But before I get there, I just want to talk about US 30 and NASDAQ. If you guys caught that golden nugget this morning, again, golden nugget pushed out for about 1,600, 1,700 pips. I closed out my positions at plus minus around about 11 o'clock this morning for a bit of a retrace there. So I'm not holding that anymore. The same thing on US 100, popped out for around about 1,000 pips, top side 1,200. I closed out at about 1,100. So if you missed the golden nugget, I will be scheduling a special training event for those of you who are part of Premium Plus. I'm going to be hosting a special Zoom event on Wednesday, right? This is a once-off. It's not going to be repeated. It's not going to be recorded. For everybody that's part of Premium Plus by Wednesday, on Wednesday, whomever you are, I'm going to be hosting a special Zoom session in the afternoon. I'm going to be showing you 2 opportunities that happen every single day with high likelihoods, high probabilities that you can take into your trading accounts, right? So one that happens in the morning, one happens in the afternoon. And this means that with or without signals, with or without any other things, that you should be able to reach your trading goals on those trades alone, and then utilize some of the profit you've made from those trades in order to take things to the next level. So I'm going to be teaching 2 things, 2 very, very high likelihood turning or movement points that happen every single day in the markets. And then the second thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be teaching you how to use the market's money to open trades, make more money with your own money, right? So instead of utilizing, opening up a trade and utilizing your margin or your account balance, 3-4% of the money that's in your account, how to make money with the market and then utilize the market's money to open up existing trades, right? This is part of my exponential money management strategy, and it's something I have taught about a year or 2 ago, but I think it's time to refresh things. I'm going to be giving this to all of you who are part of Premium Plus absolutely free on Wednesday. This will happen live in the afternoon. We'll announce that. We're just busy scheduling when that happens versus when the NVIDIA live session happens. So on Wednesday, if you're part of Premium Plus, you got a whole bunch of value coming your way, and we'll be teaching these 2 things. So if you've been missing the golden nugget, if you've been messaging me, begging, pleading, and I haven't been responding to, I do apologize. It has been busy, but I have thought about this and I'll make a moment for you to obviously teach that. So US 30, US 100, well on their way. However, there is an opportunity that is ripe and available to every single one of you. I want to show you this and tell me this isn't some beautiful price action. This is gold on 1 hour, right? So gold on 1 hour has pretty much been tanking since the 27th of last month. So 27th of July, gold's been in this tank, big bear market formation, just a straight price action, right? Gold has been absolutely getting stumped to the floor. And we've over the weeks been looking at potential reversal points, whether it's fib levels, whatever the case may be, but gold is just not having it. Gold is just absolutely tanked towards the downside. Now, what are we looking at today? I want you to think about 2 things right now. First, think about where the dollar is, and I'm going to show you that in a second. I'm going to show you, just in case, dollar potentially about to tank and break bull market formation. And then I want to show you where gold is. Gold potentially about to pop out and break bear formation. So there's 2 massive opportunities that exist today. The first one being a potential long on gold. Now, we're not going to take this as of yet. We're not taking an immediate breakout because in effect, a move like this will have to first break out, retest, and then continue. So I will be sending this trade as a signal to Premium Plus as and when this happens, but I do want you to take note of this. This can be a very big trade. And again, even if gold retraces 60% of the move down to the downside, we have a potential trade opportunity here. Specifically, if the dollar tanks, we have a trade opportunity on gold that could yield in excess of 500 pips, right? So 500 pips on gold is crazy money, right? If you're taking a standard lot position on gold, it's $10 per pip, 500 pips, that's $5,000, almost 100,000 Rand. One trade can change your life, and that's per position, right? So 3 lots, 1 lot on each position, 500 pips. We're talking about some serious money, 300,000 Rand, a third of $1 million on a single trade, right? So not saying that's going to materialize, but that's the potential. Is it worth risking $20-30 on a position like that? Absolutely. So we will be sending this one through, but I am very excited to see what gold ends up doing here. Failing this level, the obvious is going to be, it doesn't need to, it's fairly obvious what we would need to do in that case. If it fails this level, we're going to continue selling off gold and holding off gold long term, provided the dollar index regains any sort of momentum above that 103.38 mark. So those are going to be the 2 major items we're obviously going to pay attention to. And I'm seeing nobody's actually watched The Big Short, which is quite bad. Marsha saying she's on a movie list for tonight. Absolutely. Have you not seen The Big Short? What? Okay. So we are going to rewatch The Big Short this evening. If you're going to watch with us, put up your hand. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to know from you. Be part of Premium Plus, as always. Being live with you is what it's all about. The opportunity for you to post questions, ask things, and for us to answer is where the privilege comes in for you, as well as getting to see something before everybody else. Premium Plus on Wednesday, as I said, we're gonna have that special training session in the afternoon with that NVIDIA earnings report coming out on aftermarket close, right? So it's gonna be plus minus plus minus around 10, 11. So it is going to be super late. Get good rest on Tuesday night or Wednesday. Now, the last big item that we haven't covered here is going to be that there's that financial symposium happening at Jackson Hall on Thursday. And our favorite Papa Powell is going to be opening up with a speech. Right now, we largely expect to give him some sort of guidance, even if not guidance, but he's specifically going to have to talk about the current economic situation and a little bit about the future. He's going to be hard pressed not to speak about what does the outlook look like for the US economy in the coming weeks. So that's gonna be a big one. That's gonna be on Thursday. I'm not 100% sure if we're gonna be able to stream that live. I haven't confirmed times of when his speech will take place. I will confirm that and I will schedule that. That'll again be part of Premium Plus. So Wednesday, Thursday are gonna be the two big days for this week, without a doubt. I still want to see if we can get into some good pips, good profits today, as well as potentially tomorrow. Wednesday, Thursday, planning on smashing it and looking at a cooled off and relaxed Friday to wrap up the week. So that's currently what we're looking at. Big opportunities in the markets. We are certainly at a pivot point. A lot of news information there's going to be circling. However, we are going to be following and having a greater focus on the price action side of things. Outside of what I've shown you today, there's a bunch of FX related trade opportunities. I've got about 6 trades that are busy lining up from an FX perspective. We're going to be adding an FX into the mix, so we always have some trades running in the background in profits, right? So we're not just scalping these high intensity, high impact, indices or news events or gold, which, as you guys know, can break a few hearts along the way. So other than that, Premium Plus, it's been an absolute pleasure. If you're watching me after the fact, if you're not watching and it's not this time right now, then you're probably watching me in one of the free groups. If you're part of the free group, guys, there's no better time to be a part of Premium Plus, right? There's a 50% off discount if you have an HFM account. That special is coming to an end at the end of this month, right? So if you still want to save, you want to be a part of it, make sure you contact us. The links are in the description. You can direct message Marsh if you need some help with the sign-up process, but you don't want to miss that out. Okay, outside of that, guys, we are going to be sending through some opportunities as and when we see them. Other than that, be safe, trade safe. You know the drill, and I will see you guys all a little bit later. Goodbye.